Now at 4, tracking Fay. Heavy rain, flash flooding, strong winds, and dangerous surf. We have live team coverage as Fay hits the tri-state. What a time to pick up paddleboarding. Good afternoon, I'm Stephen Holt.
And I'm Natalie Pasquarello. The rain in New Jersey has been coming down for hours now, and it caused flash flooding like this in Neptune near Route 35 this afternoon. And as you can hear and see there, Fay also soaking the city. There's a flash flood warning in effect for all 5 boroughs as we speak. But it's not just the heavy rain here. Winds are kicking up as well. We have live team coverage for you this afternoon. Let's start things off with Storm Team 4 meteorologist Janice Huff in the Weather Center. Janice.
Hey, Natalie, thanks so much. Well, we've got a live look for you now from Manasquan, New Jersey, and you can see the waves are high and they're battering in along the shore. These waves will continue to be strong and high across the coastal areas. The latest advisory we have is from 2 o'clock. We'll have another one coming up in an hour. The top winds are at 60 miles an hour, and the center of circulation now is just south of Atlantic City. It's likely to be making landfall somewhere near there in just a very short period of time, maybe within an hour and a half. Those rain bands continue to spiral on the north side of the circulation. We're still getting some of the downpours in North Bergen, Yonkers, these areas shaded in yellow, and Great Neck back towards Patterson. These areas under a flash flood warning right now. Clifton, New Jersey, Bloomfield down to Newark, over towards Patterson and Troy Hill. The farther west you go, you're seeing even more heavy rain. And the winds are starting to increase now across most of the region. We're seeing that the coastal areas, wind gusting to 30 miles an hour in Belmar, 33 miles an hour in Islip, and 30 miles an hour in Bridgeport. Even though some of these areas aren't getting a lot of rain, the coastal areas will continue to see the gusty winds across the area until the storm pulls out of the region later on tonight. And right now we're going to take you live to Storm Team 4 meteorologist Matt Brickman, who continues our coverage in Seabright, New Jersey. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Janice, yeah, those winds you're talking about are whipping right now in off the water, kicking surf and sand in our direction. Can't point the camera that way because all that sand would go flying right into the lens, but we can see that next wave of rain coming down the beach. We're seeing a little bit of clearing right now, but you can still see how big these waves are as they crash on shore. 6 to 10 foot waves just continuing to rip into that beach. Just up that way is Sandy Hook, where we're going to continue to see that storm bring heavy rain and strong winds well into the afternoon and evening. Even though skies are clear right now, we've seen quite a bit of heavy rain. I want to show you some of that video from Neptune a little bit earlier today where those bands of heavy rain went through, flooding streets. Saw quite a bit of that street flooding and ponding on our drive down here, along with numerous branches and smaller limbs down from these winds gusting of 40 to 60 miles an hour. We know we're really just getting started here as this storm is still well to the south of us, but it'll continue to make its way up the beach with these strong winds. So we'll enjoy the little bit of sunshine we've got for the moment and wait for that next band of rain to move through. For now, we're live in Seabright, New Jersey. I'm meteorologist Matt Brickman, News 4 New York. Natalie?
All right, Matt, thanks so much for that report there. Glad you're getting a little sunshine there. We want to go over to Essex County now, where, as you can see from this shot, major street flooding in Newark. We have News 4's Sarah Wallace, who just arrived on scene. Water rising there behind you, Sarah.
Yeah, Natalie, not only is it rising, you can see right behind me, it's actually covering up my shoes, my boots here that are ankle boots. Next time I'm going to be wearing those high waders. You can bet on that. Let me take you back here right now. See that big rig? He may be able to get through these floodwaters, but behind him are about 5 to 6 cars that got stuck in the water. Now, see that guy down there with the red? He actually, just a second ago, was pulling up his truck, and he took a lady out from that blue car that you can see behind me. Obviously, a couple of people, we believe, are still stuck in those cars. This man efforting to try to see what's going on. You can see him walking from car to car. Again, the floodwaters continuing to come back up here now. As you can see right behind me, I'm just getting soaked here as they are coming back and forth. Very dangerous situation. We've seen a lot of cars fortunately turn around, realizing, as we've been warning you all along, do not try to get through this kind of water. You may get stuck and it could be potentially very dangerous for you. That's the latest right now, live in Newark. Sarah Wallace, News 4 New York.
Yeah, Sarah, be careful out there. Like you said, you don't want to go anywhere near that. Fay is also hitting the city hard as we speak. The 5 boroughs scrambled today to get ready for the brunt of this storm. Restaurants that have reopened for their outdoor dining had to race to bring in extra cover. Some customers did decide to tough it out, braving the heavy rain that's been coming down all day long. Let's get out to News 4's Andrew Siff live in Bryant Park. How is it right now there for you, Andrew?
Well, Natalie, it's been raining very hard for several hours, and what transit officials are keeping an eye on, if you look over on 42nd Street here, you can see just along the curb line, the water pools up pretty quickly. You see those subway stations right across the street. Here at Bryant Park, one of the vulnerable ones where water tends to cascade inside the station. So far, so good, but they're scrambling to try and keep it dry. Steady downpours on city streets today raised the risk of flooding underground.
This pump here is rating about 275 gallons per minute.
So Frank Jazicki of the MTA demonstrated the strategy. High-powered pumps that transit officials can deploy by truck to any station that floods today. Highly likely given the daily strain on the system in good weather.
On an average dry day, pump 13 million gallons of water out of the subway.
City agencies also trying to get ahead of the tropical storm, clearing out drainage spots that sometimes get clogged and trigger street flooding.
Making sure that all of the catch basins in key areas, particularly in commercial areas where there's a lot of debris that gets on the street, we make sure that those are clean.
Bearing down on us right now, we have a tropical storm hitting New York City.
Mayor Bill de Blasio urged restaurants to bring in their tables, chairs, and umbrellas that could become projectiles.
Tonight's not going to be a great night for outdoor dining, and get your furniture and umbrellas and everything in so they don't go flying away and creating any kind of danger.
Despite the deluge, there was some lunch business at East Side eateries today. New Yorkers who can't eat inside restaurants realizing after the last few pandemic months, they'll take what they can get.
Key is that it's summer and the weather, meaning that it's warm. So big deal if you get a little bit wet.
If it weren't such a drastic circumstance, this wouldn't be acceptable, but really, I feel like it may be necessary.
And subway-wise, the stations are staying relatively dry for now, but there were some pretty big delays on the Q train earlier for Coney Island-bound trains because of a tree on the Brooklyn tracks. We're live at Bryant Park. Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.
Andrew, thank you so much. Let's talk about the rough conditions on Long Island this afternoon. This is new video showing some choppy, rough waters off the coast right there. News 4's Greg Cirgal continues our team coverage live at Point Lookout this afternoon. Greg.
Well, Stefan, the rain out here on Long Island has been coming in waves, and thankfully right now we're actually in a little bit of a lull as far as the rain is concerned. But we have been feeling those punishing wind gusts. And behind me, you can see the impact. Even in this sheltered marina, boats are being tossed back and forth, and there's whitecaps out in the canal beyond us. As one group that we ran into a short time ago found out, this wasn't a good day to be on the water. Driving rain brought an abrupt end to this group's day of fishing off Point Lookout. Their party boat captain had headed back to the dock as Fay turned the water into a scary place.
The water is really, really rough where if the captain didn't know what he was doing, maybe the boat would have capsized.
Best captain out here.
Needless to say, these guys were glad to be back safely on land.
It wasn't fun to be out there.
Earlier, Hempstead town officials had been tracking Fay, with town crews preparing their equipment for whatever the tropical storm might bring.
We are expecting, with the heavy winds, a lot of downed trees, a lot of branches. This is going to be potentially dangerous conditions tonight. Be prepared.
For some boaters, that meant adding extra lines to secure their vessels from Fay's wrath. Bill Menino made a special trip to his boat in Freeport to do just that.
Once I start hearing above 40, 50 miles an hour, it's pretty serious.
Pretty serious indeed. We're back live now, and as you can see, another wave of rain has begun to pelt us. As difficult as conditions are here on the south shore of Long Island, the good news is so far we haven't seen a lot of power outages, roughly about 1,000 at last word, from PSEG Long Island. We're live in Point Lookout. Greg Cirgal, News 4 New York.
All right, Greg, thanks. Want to check back in with Storm Team 4's Dave Price with just how much rain has fallen so far, Dave.
Well, and keep in mind, Natalie, we're not done yet. So this is as of 4 o'clock when the broadcast started. Just over 3.5 inches in Whiting. Kendall Park, just about 3 1/4. 2.71 inches in Aberdeen. Staten Island at just about 2 1/3. And just about that same amount in Sheepshead Bay as we head to Brooklyn. But we did record some 4-inch plus rainfall in Vineland down in South Jersey. Keep in mind, as we head through the evening, we still have severe weather warnings in effect through a good part of the viewing area, stretching down the shore out to the island. This storm system is going to continue to travel north through the Hudson River Valley and then into inland sections of New England after passing the Capital District. But it's going to keep some wind speeds that are going to be significant through the evening. We'll continue to watch that. We'll tell you what you can expect where over the next several hours when we get together for our full forecast. Right now, back to you.